How's it going, YouTube? Sorry, I've been behind on videos here. I did not put one up last weekend. Majora's Mask is partly to blame, mostly just general laziness and getting busy at work and stuff like that. But in Majora's Mask, I'm just about to go into the pirates and get the hook shot and get the Zora eggs, for those of you who are familiar with the game. I've been kind of dilly-dallying and just doing a lot of the side stuff, getting heart pieces. Got the two quivers for the arrows, stuff like that. But I love that game. I've played it a handful of times and beaten it, so it's a lot of fun. But I've got a bunch of stuff here. In this video, I think I'm going to try to do my game hunting with Keith of the Robotnikbros, and then just a few other pawn store pickups. I've got a ton of stuff to show. The Super Pawn on Friday had a huge sale, and I hit up about 12 different stores and came up with some good stuff here. Had a lot of disappointing stuff. In fact, I was overall disappointed with their sales, but still came up with some stuff. I've got a package from Algin Game Hunter that I will probably show next video, and I have some garage sale stuff I did today that if there's time in this video I will get to. But let's go ahead and get started here. This is my game hunting trip with the Robotnikbros, or at least with Keith, because Austin's giving up on games. But this was the weekend after the Midwest Gaming Classic, and I just drove out there. He's about 2 hours away, so it's not too bad at all to go out there. And we hit up some garage sales, and we hit up a couple pawn stores, and like last time, I actually had the best of luck at the video game store at Game Exchange. So, well, first I'll show you a couple things here. The first thing is from a pawn store, and this is some PlayStation 2 games, and they had a sale. It was 5 for 10, so we picked out 5 games, and I gave one of them to Keith, and I cannot remember which game that was. But the ones I got were Lord of the Rings, Aragorn's Quest, and I believe these are all complete. So now I think the only one I'm missing is The Hobbit, which is not really part of the series because all these are Warner Brothers games, and The Hobbit is Sierra, but still, you know, kind of Lord of the Rings-ish. So Aragorn's Quest, Mortal Kombat Deception, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and then lastly for me was Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII. I have not played this before, and this is actually in a rental case, and I knew that going in, so this one is not complete. The disc has got the sticker on it, but we paid $2 each for these, like I said, and there was a fifth one that Keith grabbed, but I can't remember which one it was. So that was at one pawn store. A second pawn store had Lego Star Wars, The Complete Saga, and I believe this was complete, yeah. And this was $4, so I thought that was a pretty good deal for a Wii game. And it was kind of funny. I remember this pawn store. They had some of their Wii games up. They were $4. Their PS2 games were pretty cheap, but then their DS games were like $7, $8, $10, and just kind of goofy pricing. But so Lego Star Wars complete. I have a bunch of the Lego games. I have a bunch on the Wii. In fact, I picked up a couple other ones that I think I'll be showing you in a later video. I think I have them all for the Wii right now. I've got the both Harry Potters, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, Batman 2, Complete Saga. I believe the one I am missing, I'm sorry, is Lego Star Wars The Clone Wars, so I am missing that one. Next with Keith was at Deseret Industries, which is a thrift store, and it was Animal Crossing for the GameCube. This was $2, and this is actually kind of a funny story. This is was on the shelf with their DVDs, and we had already checked where their video games were and found nothing. And so we go over to the DVDs, and I see this, and Keith sees a game, and he reaches and grabs an Xbox game, and I grab this, and we both look at him, and I could see it in his eyes. He's like, son of a, like, that I grabbed this first. And so I was honest, you know, I was like, I already have this game. I will just be picking it up to trade it. And he's like, yeah, I've got it too. So it worked out, but that was the first time there was actually a little bit of, like, competition. It is, does not have the GameCube, the memory card, no cheese bill, but $2 for Animal Crossing, still a pretty good deal. I think Ron at True Jedi JSH was interested in this, but I've been honestly very, very, very bad and slow at responding to him. So if he doesn't hate me, then I'll still trade it to him. But lastly, and this is from the game store. This is the last place we hit up, and last time I went out there, which was back in September, I bought 20 20 Nintendo 64 games for $40. So he gave them for $2 a piece. Nothing super great, but I don't think I got any sports games, so I thought it was a real good deal. Mischief Makers was in there. I think Hey You Pikachu and a bunch of other stuff. I forget. But so I got there this year, and we had just hit up a store beforehand, which is notorious for having horrible prices. It's this consignment store, and they've got a few Nintendo or they've got a few NES games like Final Fantasy, but they had it for $50. Even Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt I think was like 25. Bases Loaded was 25. So just awful prices. So when we went in there, they had a boxed Secret of Mana and a boxed Brain Lord, but they had like $60 and $80 written on the boxes. So they had looked them up on eBay and stuff like that, and she wasn't really willing to negotiate. And not that I really need to have boxed games, but still, it's kind of cool to see them. Well, come to find out, like this place takes donations. All this stuff is donated to them, and so it's kind of goofy that she's trying to mark $80 on some of that stuff. But either way, I saw they had Brain Lord. It was in the box. I kind of just wanted that game. It's an Enix game, and definitely did not want to drop $60 or $80, whatever it was. So let it go. So we're at the game exchange now, and I see one in their glass case for $20. And I had brought a couple games to give to Keith and his, I think his nephew Andrew, GoldenEye and then Knife Edge Nose Gunner, both for the 64, and they didn't need them, and so we got to the game exchange, and I see the game for $20, and I still didn't want to pay $20 for it, and so I asked him, I was like, hey, I've got GoldenEye, what would you do for a trade-in for that? And I'm thinking, $8, $5. He looked on the shelf, saw that they're selling it for $30, and so he told me he would give me $15 in store credit for it. So I ran out there, got it, and grabbed Nose Gunner, and they took that as a trade-in for Brain Lord. So I picked up Brain Lord, very excited about that. I couldn't believe that they were giving me $15 for GoldenEye. I mean, if I would have sold that on my own, I probably would have asked 8 or 10 or something. I mean, it's a pretty common game. It's a great game, but extremely common. But $15 was pretty outrageous, and I took them up on their offer. So, but finally I have Brain Lord, so it's cool to have another Enix title. I think it's like an action RPG, kind of like Soul Blazer and stuff like that. But I have not played it yet, so don't quote me on that. So a very successful trip with Keith. I want to thank him for driving me around. We hit up a ton of places, and like I said, I felt like I got some good stuff. Very happy about the Aragorn's Quest, the Brain Lord, that Dirge Cerberus. Even though eventually I will have to upgrade it, I'm still glad to find it. I didn't have it yet, so the Animal Crossing was also cool to find. So that was that trip. Now just some. I think all this is from pawn stores here in town, just out and about. The first one, I paid $3 for this, and it is Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. I finally found this. I had found Snake Eater a couple times and got confused which one I needed. Glad to finally have this one. It is complete. It's got both discs, so happy about that. To stay on the Metal Gear theme here, I found Metal Gear Solid, the original. It is also complete, and this was $2. And I have this already, so I think I got my copy from Chris Sega CD, so that was cool of him. But so this is for trade or sale. I might just throw it up on Craigslist or something, but it's cool to find. It's a great game. It's a classic. Next are some. I'll do my other PS2 here before I move on to the handheld. I paid $3 for these two games. The first one is Flipnik Ultimate Pinball. I just thought it looked kind of interesting. It's a Capcom title. I'm not really a huge pinball fan. In fact, I'm awful at pinball, so I probably won't play this, but it looked pretty goofy. Plus, I paired it up with this other game to get them both for $3. And that is Drakengard for the PS2. Just another Square Enix title. It is also complete. So, happy about that. Get that glare out of there. Yeah, it kind of looks like a Dynasty Warriors, a hack and slash, but I see it looks like you're fighting dragons and stuff too, so it looks pretty fun. So it was $3 for these two games. My last two things here, Uh, First one is from a pawn store, and I was very happy about these Game Boy games. I bought 3 of them here. They were $2 a piece, and I asked if they would do $1 a piece on them, and they said no. But they gave me, I'll show this one first, Pokemon White 2 for $4. So I didn't complain too much. So for $10, I bought 3 Game Boy games and a DS game. The Pokemon White 2 is for trade. This is a duplicate for me. But I thought the Game Boy games were great games here. I got Donkey Kong Land 2, and it is actually, if you can't tell, is in a plastic case. Donkey Kong Country. And then lastly, and probably my best one here of these is Mega Man Extreme, which I'd actually never heard of. But cool to find 3 Game Boy games. Cool to find a Mega Man game. And for $10, I didn't think it was a bad deal for the Pokemon and the 3 Game Boy games. All of these are probably for trade. The Pokemon's definitely. I'm not a huge Game Boy collector. I mean, there's a couple that you'd like to find, but I don't really plan on playing Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy when I can play it on the Super Nintendo. So I'll see if Gamer Emporium needs any of these, or I know Chris Minogue, Retro Rack, collects a lot of the Mega Man games. I don't know if he needs this one or not. But those. And then lastly are some Game Boy Advance games. This is from a smaller pawn store called Metro Pawn, and I'm not a huge fan of this store, but I have found some stuff there in the past. So they had 3 Game Boy Advance games, and originally they had, when I asked, this was probably about a week or 2 ago, and they told me they were $6 a piece, and I didn't want to do that. He wouldn't budge on it, and so I went back. I think this was on Thursday, and there was a different guy working. I asked him about them. He told me they were $6. I told him that was a little too much. I was like, I was looking more towards $2 a piece, and he told me that that's what they paid for them. So I offered $8 on the 3 of them, and he said $9, and we settled at $9. So for $3 a piece, I picked up Golden Sun, the first one. Golden Sun, The Lost Age, which this one is a duplicate. This was a gift from Elevator Fan 559, so that was very cool of Melvin. So this one will be for trade. And then lastly, the one I really wanted, was Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. That was cool to find this on the Game Boy Advance. I actually did not know it was on the GBA. I thought it was DS and stuff, but Wii, I think. So that was cool to find a Fire Emblem game. So those 3 were $3 a piece, so $9 for these 3, RPG strategy stuff. So really cool to find those. This time actually went by pretty fast, so I might even just stop this video here, and I'll probably show my garage sale picks, my trade with All-Gen Game Hunter, and my pawn store giant sale pickups in another video, maybe even 2 videos. We'll see how long it gets. But thanks for tuning in with this one. I want to say thanks to Keith again for taking me out game hunting again. We had a great time. Hopefully, he'll come out here and we'll do some on my side of town here. And with that being said, I hope to get the next videos up here in the next couple of days. I hate to fall too far behind because I forget the stories and the prices, and that's just as important and as fun as the games themselves. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next video.